What's the importance of story? Why should we always tell our story?
Without the story, there's nothing.
Absolutely.
Everywhere there's a story. A picture tells a story. You listen to a song, there's a story in it,
Right.
and people relate to stories.
Reject the finance bill demonstrations, maandamano, and the one thing that has been consistent and that has made the world notice what's going on in Kenya is because of stories, because of photos, it's because of videos. All those videos people are taking with their phones, the images that we're capturing, and that's how important images are. And thank you for equipping us as
And then,
storytellers.
like you're saying, one image. You remember Muhammad Amin, the
Yes.
Ethiopian famine. That
Oh, yes.
one image.
That one image,
Yeah.
where the kid was crawling and there's a vulture following. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So the power of stories and images is I don't think you can say that you can't really measure it.
I know. Absolutely.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, classmates, mko salama? Welcome to another class, another lecture, as we call it here. This is a concert for businessmen, so we're super excited for our DJ for the day and our lecturer for the day. It's an industry that's really close to my heart because it has to do with filming and content creation, and I'll tell you the reason why in just a minute. But we're still filming at Longonot Place. Can't check them out. It's a beautiful space. Book your staycation. Wambia field director alisema manze mko na rates fiti za mwananchi, so check them out. That's amazing. Also, subscribe to Showmax. We have a new show as Philip Productions called Untying Kantai. It's an amazing show. It will change the way you think about drugs and church, but that's a bit too much info, so stay there. Yeah. Let me start with a thread, something I came across as I was studying, and I came across a podcast where they were interviewing a VC billionaire, I think by the name of Chamath Palpit. Hiyo jina ni ngumu, forgive me. And he's the VC that funded Facebook for a very long time. Facebook was funded for about 7 years before it was even pre-revenue, not pre-profit, pre-revenue, before they even started making a shilling. And he's based in Silicon Valley, and he was saying that with this revolution of the social space, there are three phases to it. And the first wave brought out platforms like Apple and Google, where the iOS and Android are built on, and that made the first billionaires in this wave. The second wave were the social media apps that were built on those platforms. That's basically Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And again, the people who built these platforms made billions. And he's saying that right now, the third wave of billionaires are going to be the content creators. And what do all these three waves have in common? They created billions in terms of eyeballs and created trillions in terms of dollars. And so there's this saying that when there was a gold rush, the people who actually made the money are the people who are selling the shovels, as guys were going to dig up the gold. And so our lecturer for the day sells the shovels. Content creators will be the billionaires, but I think he'll beat content creators there first. Mr. Parag, uko salama?
Iko salama.
Good to see you, man.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you.
So Mr. Parag is the CEO of Cameras Africa, and what does Cameras Africa do, and what do you sell?
Like you said, we are equipping storytellers.
Right.
That's what Cameras Africa does.
Right.
So if you have a story to tell, if you need equipment,
Right.
you come to us.
All right. So is it from cameras or just basically anything audio visual?
Anything cameras, so would be visual, then podcast, printers, if you want to print your pictures.
Right.
We have them.
Okay.
And if you are editing, so we have the editing machines, the keyboard, mouse.
Right.
So any the whole ecosystem that you need to create, from input to output.
Absolutely.
We have it.
Yeah. So I personally have bought so much equipment from Cameras Africa. I think including the sport mics. Yes, the sport mics are from, these are Maono.
Maono. Yeah.
Yes, and I think you're the first people to introduce these mics
Yeah.
to the region. Yeah, so mmekuwa mkisikiaje hiyo sound inakubamba? Get them at Cameras Africa. So let's start from the beginning. How did you grow up? Where did you grow up? And did you grow up around cameras? Why the interest in filming equipment?
No, yeah, I actually came to Kenya when I was 7. My whole family came, my dad, everyone.
All right.
Then in around 94, my dad started the shop, which was called Universal Gift Center back in the days.
Okay.
He used to sell greeting cards and gifts at that time.
Right.
Then slowly, as the demand changed, he started keeping wristwatches and bags, and so he kept on changing as the customers' demand changed
Right.
and the preferences and tastes changed.
Right.
Slowly, when the mobile started coming, people were looking for giving gift as a phone.
Right.
So moved to that, and then the digital cameras came. So he started keeping the digital cameras. And that's from there he kind of saw that, okay, there is a market here, digital camera, there's something happening here, which is not happening somewhere else.
Right.
So he said, okay, why don't we specialize in this thing, try and give a bigger range, not just the small cameras, the professional cameras and all the accessories to it. So that's how slowly we changed to the camera shop, a specialized camera shop.
Right.
I joined around 2000, maybe say 13, 14 when I joined.
All right.
I finished my university. I came back to Kenya from the US in 2003.
Right.
Around 2004, 2005, I started farming.
Farming.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
With with a cousin of mine.
Okay.
And
What were you farming? What were you farming?
we were doing avocados.
Oh wow. Oh well. Clearly, you know where the money is at. Avocados, love it. Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, we didn't make the money at that time because we didn't know anything about farming, and we decided, okay, let's do farming.
Right.
So it was a very steep learning curve.
What part of Kenya were you farming?
Goliba,
Oh,
Thika Garissa Road.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, we were doing that, and so around 2014, 15, we sold that, and I came to the shop, trying to see what to do now. And then I saw this space was interesting, so I decided to study a bit more what's happening, why are people interested, and see what else we can add to it. And that's how I then became a full-time CEO of Cameras Africa.
Oh, that's interesting. So your background is not film at all.
No filming, just business.
Just business.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I know you're Kenyan, but with Indian origin. But there's something Indians have really gotten good at is just passing down businesses from one generation to the other. Is that something that is forced upon you, or it comes in organically? Because that's amazing. I find it amazing.
No, it's not really forced upon. I think if I look at myself, even from a young age, I was going to the shop, whenever I had holidays or free time, just looking at it, helping out wherever I can. And I think a lot of the other kids my age, they used to do that, and some got interested in it. They went, they studied, they came back, had new ideas.
Right.
And, the dad or the uncle who was in charge let them slowly try it out and see how it works, supported them.
Right.
And, that's how it keeps on going to the next generation.
Okay. So you're on a journey of equipping storytellers. What is it about storytelling that you've seen and you're like, what, as a CEO, this is the direction of our company?
As a CEO, as a yourself also, you're always learning. You never stop learning.
Absolutely.
So I attended a class on finding your purpose, but that was during COVID time. So it was online.
Yeah.
So okay, I had time. I didn't have to go physically out of the country for the 3 days. So I took it up. Then the question was asked, what's your purpose? Why is your business existing? So I asked them, okay, mine is, I'm not making anything, I'm not providing any service, I'm just selling that someone is making.
Mm-hmm.
So questions were asked, and they said, it's fine, you could be still doing that, but there has to be a purpose why you're doing it. So after a lot of digging, we found out that what we are doing is we're actually equipping storytellers. We're not just, someone comes in, we don't just give them. You've asked me for the mic, I don't just give you the mic.
Right.
We ask you, where do you want to use it? How do you want to use it? Then
Yeah.
we give you the options, why this will work, why this will not work.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it came out that we are equipping storytellers in a way. We're not just selling.
Okay. Well, what's the importance of story? Why should we always tell our story?
Stories are good to, to narrate, to express yourself. You need to have a good story.
Right.
The start, the beginning, the end. Without a story, there's nothing.
Absolutely.
Everywhere there's a story. A picture tells a story. You listen to a song, there's a story in it.
Right.
And people relate to stories.
Right.
And only then you can get their attention.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's very important. Ever since, I think, even Stone Age, when stories were being told.
Absolutely.
They were drawn.
Absolutely.
We have, and it's where how things get passed on from one person to the other.
To the other. Yeah. Absolutely. When we are recording this episode, today is on the 21st of June. So yesterday was 20th, and there were reject the finance bill demonstrations, maandamano, and the one thing that has been consistent and that has made the world notice what's going on in Kenya is because of stories, because of photos, it's because of videos. All those videos people are taking with their phones, the images that we're capturing, and that's the importance of stories, and we need the tool, the skill to capture this story, and that's what you equip us with. So,
and of course, you know more about why stories are important because you're actually in the business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Stories cause revolutions. Revolutions. I was reading on Martin Luther King a while back, and he said the tilt and the shift. Martin Luther King Jr., the black. Yeah. He said their revolution was tilted because of one image, and because they had been doing it for so many years, they knew that images really are very impactful. And so there was an image where, are we still okay, sound guy? Yeah, there was an image where a young man, I think he was about a teenager, I think 17 or something, and he was walking by a police dog, and the police dog was excited to see him. It wasn't even attacking him, but it leaped up, and the photographer captured that moment. So the dog looked like it was attacking this African American kid, and there's a policeman holding the dog. That photo went so viral across the globe. The entire world called for a stop to this, and that's how they actually that one image, that's how important images are. And thank you for equipping us as storytellers.
And then, like you're saying, one image. You remember Muhammad Amin, the
Yes.
Ethiopian famine. That
Oh,
one
yes.
image.
That one image,
Yeah.
where the kid was crawling and there's a vulture following. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
So the power of stories and images is I don't think you can say that you can't really measure it.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yes.
Right now, I think there was a rating that was out last year, and I need to get the exact source, but they found that Nairobi is one of the best places to visit in the world. I was like, the same Nairobi we're in.
Yeah, even I was surprised. It was what, Lonely Planet or Traveler's Guide, one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we got to discussing it, and we were wondering, where is this coming from? And then we realized our current governor, Nairobi, Sakaja, the minute he got in, what's the first thing he said? Creatives, photographers will be allowed to shoot within Nairobi for free.
Yeah.
And if you walk on the Nairobi streets, especially on a Sunday, it's full of photographers.
It's amazing what has that done, to the image.
Oh yeah,
Before, if you are a tourist, what do? You go to Masai Mara or Amboseli, take pictures,
absolutely.
that's it.
That's
No
it.
one takes pictures of Nairobi. Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you're a tourist walking around with the camera on the streets,
You
you get harassed,
you
and
get
it just,
harassed.
yeah.
Yeah. And just by that one decree by the governor, there's so many images being uploaded of Nairobi, and so the algorithm is just picking up all these images, and they're like, you guys, there's something happening in Nairobi. This is a vibrant place to be at, and that's how we ended up being number one. So, and a lot of those young people taking those photos, you are equipping them. I know Cameras Africa does more than just selling. I know you're integral in training. Talk to us about that as well.
Yeah, so like we see that just selling something doesn't really help. We need people to make the most of it. We don't want someone to just come and buy the next thing.
Yeah.
Have you exhausted what you have?
Right.
So we've partnered with the brands, Canon, Sony, others, and we try and regularly every month or every 2 months try and have workshops where you get to learn more and how to be the best at what you are, whether it's filming, photography, yeah, and that's something that's very important for anyone to be in the industry.
Okay.
You need to learn, and how best do you learn? While when you listen to others,
Oh yeah.
who are
That's
the
right.
expert in the industries.
Like you're teaching us
Yeah.
today. Yeah.
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 So that's something that's even exciting, and that idea also really came to me when I was in States. I was visiting the Apple store in 2018, 19, San Francisco.
Right.
There was a huge store where they had things going on. Someone just teaching you on how to use your iPad, someone teaching you how to use your iPhone, someone teaching you how to use your machine. So you could just be the whole day
That's interesting.
and just every 15 or 20 minutes there's something new being taught.
Right.
So like, wow, this is interesting. So I could just sit here the whole day and just learn, and there's no fee, there's no charge, and
Wow.
of course I'll be tempted to buy something
Yeah,
because
for
now
sure.
I've
That's
learned
the
the whole thing, and I
that's
know
the
how to make use of all those 100 apps that are there.
right.
So that's where that idea came, that we should be doing that. The selling would come, but if people get more interested on using it, then they will make more from what they have.
Right. That is brilliant, because you before you ask someone for their money, you're giving them value first. Come here, this is what we will train you on, how to take the best images that tell a story, the best way to use this equipment, and slowly over time, I mean, where else will they go to buy the equipment? That's very smart.
Yeah.
That's
Because
amazing.
there's no point selling a rally car to a person who doesn't even know how to drive a
Good
Vitz.
point. Good point.
Yes, you have the money to
Yeah,
buy it, but
yeah.
do I want to sell it to you? No, because I know it's not what you are ready for. So I rather give you the Vitz,
Right.
and then we upgrade you to the car.
Right. Which group of, do I say, artists are your biggest clients mostly?
Um, we have, I think we have across all spectrum.
Okay.
We have the content creators, the
Right.
kids from university who are there starting out. Then we have lifestyle vloggers or people doing their own shows. Then we have photographers, wedding, event photographers.
Right.
We even have people who are doing documentaries, independent producers making shows, and also churches.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Churches.
Or house of worship. Now we have even not just churches, others also
Oh yeah. Houses of
coming
worship.
in, because now recording, going live. After COVID, that's when that sector came
Actually,
into.
yeah. Absolutely.
During the COVID time is when that grew. We were even surprised when that happened. Yeah.
How was that for you guys? I mean, you as the CEO, COVID hits, and everything has been locked off, and you're sure, oh my goodness, the the losses I'm about to hit, and then all of a sudden there's a surge, an uptick.
Yeah, I mean, it was, when COVID came, everything went to lockdown, and we started saying, okay, now if it's lockdown, how long will it continue? Because wedding and events are not happening.
Yeah.
So what do we do now? And suddenly, the live thing started happening. Yeah, everyone had to go live.
Absolutely.
The show must go on.
Yeah.
And that's when the whole thing changed, and we're like, oh, are we ready for this? But luckily we were.
Right.
And so that's what kept us going.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's really good. Let's talk about content creation. At least that's a world I sit in. I know last year, I think YouTube, yeah, YouTube in the last 3 years has paid off $107 billion to content creators across the world. So this is an industry that we need to be paying attention to. Take us through content creation. And if I'm a content creator and I walk into your shop and I'm like, hey, I want to start making content. How would you advise me to start? What equipment would you start me off with?
Um, like you said, I'm not a photographer or a filmmaker or anything.
Right.
But when I got into this, I
Yeah.
started seeing like all this equipment, like you have your lights, reflectors, stand. So I went for like 6 months, kind of like one of someone was teaching,
Right.
how to learn how to be a photographer.
Yeah.
I'm like, if I'm going to have these things and people are asking me how to use it and I don't know how to use it,
Yeah.
I learned. I went to learn
Yeah.
to see exactly what everything does. I still can't. Well, I can use it, but I don't have that creativity on how to do it. Or
Right.
maybe not creativity, just the patience.
Yeah.
I don't have the patience to carry around a
not really your
camera
one.
with me. Yeah. Like, and so from there, I started learning, I started observing, I started watching videos. And so now when someone comes, we actually ask them, okay, what kind of content do you want to do? Where do you want to use it? Are you are you doing live on just YouTube and Facebook, or where is the end
Yeah.
being put?
Right.
So we start with some of those questions, and then we narrow down to what exactly would be the best or the ideal equipment at the stage they are in.
Right.
If you come and say that you are making a movie, and your movie is going to be on Showmax or Netflix,
Right.
of course you need anything that is 4K or above.
Yeah.
But if someone else comes that they're just starting out, they want to do short clips for Instagram, then we tell them, okay, you buy a simpler camera to start. You buy the kit lens that comes in. Learn,
Yeah.
see how to use it. Then you will know which is the next thing you want.
Right.
And when you come to us, we will be able to give you. So that's how we basically guide the client who comes in.
Okay.
And we do a lot of internal training with the team. Every time we try and see that we kind of have a FAQ that what are the questions customers are asking? Are we okay with it? How do we answer it? If we get a new equipment, do we know how to use it?
Right.
Do we talk to the customers? A lot of times we learn from the people who come in that, I will buy this, I will not buy this. Okay, why? Then they explain to us. So when someone else comes, we tell them, okay, this, and this.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yo. I think I saw some stats somewhere that about 7 point something million camera units were built in the world per year. What's I know what I'm leading to, but would you know on average how many cameras are bought in Kenya? Do you have an in total?
No,
There's
that
no way.
stat is not there.
Right.
But I do know that worldwide the camera sales is declining
Oh, because of the phone.
because of the phone.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh no.
But the number of pictures taken
Are going
are
up.
going up because
But
now
cameras are declining.
yes, everyone has access to phone. Everyone
is
can
true.
take a picture.
That is true.
But cameras, because of the phone, the entry levels are going down.
Yeah.
Now we have the more mirrorless and the cinema cameras that are being sold. The sales of that is going up than
Ah,
before.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. The professional,
professionals are going up
yeah,
because, as like you said, YouTube is given away, I don't know how many billions.
107.
So
Yeah,
social media, some would say, is a bad thing, but for others, it's a very good thing. A lot of people are making a living from it.
absolutely.
YouTube is paying now. You have Spotify, you have your podcast happening. It's an industry that no one thought was going to exist.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's amazing what social media has done to this industry. Now you can upload your movie on YouTube and make money. You don't need a distribution house or a production house. I mean, to sell your movie or a big cinema to
Right.
have your movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so still leading to something.
Yeah.
Have you been to uh, the manufacturing plants of some of these, either Canon, Sony, one of these big
No,
companies?
they,
Not.
they do not like to take us there. Yeah, but I do attend a lot of conferences and events,
Right.
even shows to keep myself updated with the equipment,
Right.
so that I know that are we having the best available here in the store? Are we having the best? Are we up to date with what is happening, the trend, everything?
Hmm.
Otherwise, we would be left behind if
Yeah.
we are not, change,
For sure.
changing and keeping up with the technology.
For sure. For sure. So what I was leading up to is, I'm hoping one day someone will join me in this movement. So every time I look at my revenues at the end of the year, I realize that when it comes to the value chain, whatever revenues I make, I think around 85% of that goes back to buying equipment. And so I realized we are creating a huge industry locally and everywhere when it comes to
Yeah.
content creation and making all these entertainment shows. But the money at the end of it ends up there because the equipment is not ours.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I don't think your business is that far from what I'm experiencing. I'm sure a lot of the revenue you get, a huge chunk of it still goes back to
Yes.
buying the equipment. Do you see a chance, a possibility of us ever being able to build our own equipment from scratch? Build this mic, build these lights, build the cameras, because we are creating a billion shilling industry in this country, but out of the billions, only 20% will remain for us here. The rest will go out.
Um, Maybe some things we could and we should, like cables we are importing, like stands we're importing. Some of those things like the softbox you're using,
Right.
we should be doing it, but I don't know whether it's just the cost of
Production.
manufacturing, setting it up is expensive versus the volume that you would sell. But as for cameras, I don't think that we'll be able to make them.
Anytime
It's
soon.
just the technology. The sensor technology was developed by the Japanese government, and they gave it away to whoever wants to use it and however you want to use it.
Wow. I
Yes,
didn't even know this.
yes,
Okay. Right.
and that's why you see all the brands are Japanese camera
Yeah.
brands
Right.
because they got the technology. It's
Now,
now how do you use it?
I mean, my hope and goal is, I don't know when, but I hope we do get to a point where we can build our own equipment. I love a certain brand called Black Magic, and that's because that's a brand that started in 2001, I think, in Australia. And compared to the Canons and the
Yeah,
Sonys, who have a rich history of existing for over 100
right.
years, but somehow they've been able to penetrate the market, and they're doing really well. So I genuinely hope that, I know our president keeps talking about a transformative agenda, but if we genuinely want to transform, we need to upscale on the
Yeah.
value chain, and we shouldn't just be the consumers. I think we should start
Yes.
building and manufacturing. So I was hoping you've been to the factories and can learn a secret or two.
No, but yeah, I mean, manufacturing is the way. If we, because we have just importing everything, even raw material, we export the raw material and we bring it in, and yeah, it's very
Including
confusing.
phones.
Yeah,
Phones that hard to make. We can, I'm sure we can manufacture our own phones. Yeah.
I
Any
think some production has started
the
in
Mara
Kenya.
company?
No,
No.
in Kenya.
In Kenya, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
2 or 3 companies have started production.
Ooh,
So
we should bring them here.
yeah,
Okay, I will do my research.
yeah.
I know it had been mentioned. I hadn't followed up on that. Yeah,
I think production is something that if you don't get the volumes, it's just expensive to set something up.
mm.
So that's where the biggest challenge would lie.
And
And
Africans don't trust African products.
and who's going to set up, take that risk of
Yeah,
setting it up?
right.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Um, I know how far do you sell within the region? Your clients, how far wide are they?
Kenya, anywhere in Kenya.
Anywhere in
Yeah,
Kenya?
yeah.
Outside Kenya? Yeah.
No,
Hey, are you telling me Cameras Africa has been existing primarily with the Kenyan?
Kenya. Because we have laws that are very restrictive to do trade. You see, when even if I have a camera here and you take it to Uganda, then you will again be paying your duties and taxes. So I brought it to Kenya, I paid all the duties. Now when I take it to Uganda or Tanzania,
You have to
yeah,
pay more duties.
so it's cheaper for the person to buy from
Uganda.
Dubai or China and just pay
Right.
the tax once. So that's where it becomes tricky. How do you sell across the region?
That's super restrictive. I mean, I know there are conversations about it. It
I
has
had a
just
customer once coming from Uganda. He's like, to fly to Dubai is costing me the same to fly to Nairobi.
and Nairobi is 45 minutes
Yeah.
away.
So it's like just because I'm here, that's why I'm buying. But if I were to go and buy a lot more and set up something, I would just fly there.
Serikali bana. Let's do something, man. I genuinely believe that Kenya can be the hub of East Africa for a lot of things, and if we just got the right policies, then for you it shouldn't be a problem, shipping to Uganda or Tanzania. Okay, so now for you to access those markets and sell in those markets, you'd have to open a physical shop there.
Yes.
Oh my God. Do you have a shop outside Kenya? Yeah.
No, not
Not
yet.
yet. All right.
But it's something now we need to look into because everyone follows Kenya.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's
where
true.
Kenya is going now, I'll see Uganda, Tanzania, Rwanda also,
Yeah.
trying to come up in that space. Everyone's promoting creatives, filmmaking. They want everyone to do that. I think that they have seen the value that what filmmaking does, to the country, the image of the country.
Right.
Like you've seen, when Sakaja opened up the streets of Nairobi, how Nairobi just got lifted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, all right. Okay. So this exists within the Kenyan ecosystem. So I'm curious, how does your day look like as the CEO? What time do you wake up, and how does your day typically look like?
Wake up in the morning, do my exercise, breakfast. I drop my daughter to school, then have my breakfast,
Right.
come to shop. So we open at around 9.
Okay.
Then we have our team meeting for about 30 minutes or so, just learning, questions, answers, what everyone's doing, what's everyone up to.
Right.
After that is done, then sometimes it's firefighting things.
That's every day for an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Yeah.
On a good day, maybe not a full day goes there.
Yeah.
Then trying to just see what's out there, what's meeting suppliers, on call with them, ordering stuff, meeting customers, just to, because I do need to see what customers are thinking, what they're talking about, something new
Right.
that we don't have is trending. Yeah, so by then, 6 o'clock, but never miss lunch.
Never miss lunch.
Never miss lunch.
Lunch is good.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I was. By then, I've just thought about it. Yeah. Again, a lot of Indian businesses, lunch is crucial. Like you always close the shop.
We don't close, but yeah, between 1 to 2:30, I try to have my lunch.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just good to fuel your body.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right. And by 6
Yeah.
p.m.
Yeah,
You're
6
done.
we close. Yeah.
Okay.
So you go home, reach at 9. I mean
Right.
7. Yeah,
7.
and relax.
Okay. What about the days? Because I know as a CEO, mostly you're also a visionary, so you're also more out there than in the show because you always need to know what's going on. How can we position? How do those days look like? Who are you ordinarily meeting, trying to? Yeah.
So I was in Japan just 2 weeks ago. I had an event that I was attending by Tamron Lenses.
Okay.
So I was there for 2 days for the event, and then just listen to what Tamron has to say, what they did last year, what they're doing this year, what their plans are. Then during that time, of course, you meet others in the industry.
Right.
I met people from Europe, people, someone from Sri Lanka, Kuwait. So it was interesting that we were all in the same. How do I say? Same situation.
Right.
To say, let's just say that way.
Yeah.
That how the market is going. There's nothing. That's nothing different in Kenya than that's happening in Kuwait or Europe.
That's interesting.
In terms of what people are preferring to use and where they are using it.
What are they preferring to use now? Cameras.
I cannot name brands because I sell all the brands.
Yeah, for sure. Super small digital cameras. Okay.
Yeah, and where they are shifting to, like a lot of them are now shifting to more content creation, video, not just photo. Anyone who's a photographer is doing video also.
Oh, that's true.
And a lot of home, like a lot of one-person shows have started happening.
Yes. Yeah. So you want something that someone can set up by themselves, shoot and edit it by themselves. Sure. Okay.
So yeah, when you meet them, it's interesting to see that. Okay, so we thought we are different, but no, it is everywhere. It's the trend that's moving, and everyone agrees that it's social media that's making this happen.
Okay. I love asking such questions because then with time I get to pick the values, and I've come to learn that some of the best companies, especially companies that are run over a long period of time and passed on from one generation to the other, the glue that keeps it going is the values, the core values and the culture. And I'm just curious, what are some of the core values that you picked up from your father and that have really been instrumental in you running the business? And what culture are you now parting into Cameras Africa and the team?
I think one of the thing that he kept the shop going was being in touch with the customers, seeing where they are, where the trend is going. So that's why he was always changing what he was selling.
Right.
Don't be stuck, and always learning. We were selling greeting cards. The whole shop was just greeting cards.
Right.
And then we started selling watches. Then we started selling bags, phones, and so don't be stuck that this is what I do. This is what change, and change is good. And learning,
Right.
Always learn. Never say that you know everything. You always be learning from anywhere and everywhere.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And there is no end to learning. So that's what the two things. And so currently also, what I've started is team development. That okay, I have been the one trying to do everything now. How do I grow?
Yeah, yeah, for
How do
sure.
I develop a team? So that they can be in charge of the things, sales and logistics and marketing. How do I step back from these things so I can be more free to be out and to come here to give an interview?
True. That's true.
And that's a very big challenge. That
Yeah.
letting go.
Letting go,
Yes.
what is it called? Delegating.
Delegating, because
Yeah.
now you're technically dividing yourself, like what's in your head as sales, now you're trying to give one person to do what's in your head. Marketing, your thoughts, you're trying to get that person. I mean, it's good because now you're multiplying yourself,
Yeah.
but how do you make them see what you see,
Right.
and how do you let it be okay that they will not see the same things,
Okay.
you know
Okay.
yeah. So that's what I'm now learning.
Right. Yeah. What has been some of the most rewarding moments for you as CEO of Cameras Africa? Moments that you go like, yeah, that that made me super happy.
Wow. I think just even the small ones like surviving COVID was like, yes, we
Yeah.
did not have to close shop. We didn't have to tell people to go
Absolutely.
home. That was amazing. Going on trips, incentive trips with Canon and Sony. It's amazing because, going out there, then you're meeting others from the same industry but different countries, networking with them. Brands coming to now work with you. They recognize that you are here in Kenya and we want to work with you.
Right.
That's something very satisfying. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's amazing. You travel a lot, and getting all these experiences outside of the country. I'm curious. Uh, do you have a stranger than fiction story? Something that happened in your life or within your business, and you're like, guys, I know you'll not believe it, but this actually happened to me. Maybe it was a sequence of events.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, you have to think about this
I have
one.
to think, do I really have those things, or am I just too used to a lot of things and just prepared, or I don't know, just
If you're
yeah,
equipping storytellers, then a lot of stories happen to you. So,
yeah.
okay.
Maybe the small stories, like I'd say, okay, 2000 or 15, 16, when Canon came in, we worked with them. That's the first time we did workshops with them.
Okay. Okay.
We went to Thika, Machakos, Mombasa, Nairobi, and we taught, we interacted with a lot of people. Then around 5 years, so around 2020, 21, I think, someone came that I got inspired to be in this business because I met you guys. I was like, wow, that was like 2015, and
Yeah.
that person is working in one of the
Wow.
media house.
Right.
Like, because of that, I'm like, wow, that is
That is,
interesting.
yeah, interesting and very satisfying
Yeah, and that
also.
was just something we did basics. We didn't even do much, but just inspired that person.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. As we're winding up, do you have a daily mantra, a mantra that you that keeps you going every day, that you keep telling yourself every day when you wake up?
Um, I think it's just being in business and learning things, new things, is what keeps me going. Like, I studied business. I started doing farming.
Yeah.
Then from there, I came to this. So I see that every day there's something new to learn, something new. What happened yesterday. Then I see, okay, how do I have I learned anything from it? How do I improve? Just observing, and I think that keeps me going. It's just exciting when people say do something that you love, find your passion. I think for me it's just being in business.
Right.
It could be any business.
Right.
It's just being in a business and just learning something. Yeah.
That's as a it's easier to say that I have this skill, I have this talent. I love singing, so I can
Yeah.
sing. But I've met people who are serial businessmen. Like their joy comes from starting a business from the ground up and scaling it up. Would you say this is your thing?
I'm not a serial businessman, as in, like, okay, I just have one business,
Right, right,
but it's just that I always want to learn that how do you get to a different place? How does someone manage 12 branches? How do I get to that place? What are they doing? What is it that they're learning?
right,
How do I learn that? So that's why I'm right now this year trying to coach myself and train a team to be better.
right,
So every day there's something new to learn. Every day, observe, and I think that thirst, that curiosity, keeps me going.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, man, we'll be right here watching
Yeah.
every single day. What's the future like for Cameras Africa? What's the next 5, 10 years looking like for you? What's the plan?
Yeah. 5, 10 years. Wow, that's. I think that's very short.
Okay,
Because this
what's the big
industry,
picture?
this industry is just growing, and we want to make sure we are the center of it, and make sure we bring the best there is from everywhere to Africa, and hopefully manage to go into the other African countries.
Right. Okay. Okay,
Because
man.
as much as cameras, but the audiovisual industry is just growing. This is just the beginning.
What will you tell a young man like me who who wants to get into this line of business, selling, retailing audiovisual equipment? What advice would you give them if they are watching?
Um, learn to listen to your customers. Yeah, listen to your customers and then advise them. Don't just give them what you have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. Classmates, I think that's a beautiful place to end at. Like, listen to your customers. They will tell you what they want, and more importantly, give them value back. Give them advice, give them value before you sell anything to them.
Yeah.
And I think that's a beautiful way to do business. Thank you for that. Thank you for
Thank
that. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Phil.
This has been amazing.
Yes.
I know this is amazing for me because I'm in the industry, so this was super exciting to me. But I know we have so many content creators out there, and like you said, this industry is just starting up, and it's going to be the biggest industry in Africa. And this is from very major bodies, the UN and ILO. They're all saying content creation, entertainment is the next big.
I think it's supposed to be part of the sustainable development goal,
Yeah.
creating skills and job. I think content creation, this industry, is one of those
Yeah.
that will help
Oh, absolutely.
attain the goals.
Absolutely. And I love what we saw yesterday with the demonstrations on the Reject the Finance bill, that this revolution was actually started online with phones. It started with people tweeting, and before you know it, people are doing videos on TikTok. And before you know it, we had tens of thousands of Kenyans on the streets demonstrating across the country. So content creation is something you should be looking, whether you're from government side, whether you're an investor or you're a young person looking to get into a career, look around this space and the ecosystem around it. Yeah.
Yeah, and yes, and you learn the business of it. Because
Absolutely.
Phil, look at yourself. You movie making, podcasting.
Right.
You're always learning new things. I'm sure
Absolutely.
you never thought of podcasting when you started doing movies.
Absolutely. Even the first time I heard the name, I was like, ah, okay, but here I am. So
So
again,
it goes into saying any business, keep on learning.
mhm,
Yeah.
keep on learning and adapt quick.
Yes.
And adapt
Yeah.
quick. All right. Thank you so much, classmate. That has been our class for the day. We're still filming at Longo Place, so come check out the space and book a staycation with them. Otherwise, tupatane at the next class. Thank you so much.